it has weighed on my conscience. I still have dreams about some of the issues that happened. Um, one of the worst nightmares I have is when I was like 13, 14, 15 years old. I was sitting in a cafe in downtown Salinas, California. It used to be like $1.25. You could get 3 eggs and bacon and hash browns and toast, and for like $1.25, you couldn't really beat it. And I was sitting there one day coming down off of about 3 days on LSD, and so the room was still kind of floating around and stuff, but I knew I needed to eat something because my stomach was tore up from the last several days. And so I was sitting there trying to eat this thing. And I remember I was all of a sudden looked down in my plate, and I noticed I used to eat my eggs sunny side up. And I noticed a heartbeat going on in the yellow part of the egg. And I'm like, good Lord, that chicken's not dead yet. That baby's not dead yet. And I was just like contemplating that. And I felt this ice cold feel. And this guy walked into the restaurant, and I was almost in the back, but not quite, staring at the door in one of those booths. And he comes up, steps right next to my chair, and blew the guy behind me away. And I remember everything inside of me screaming, don't look, don't look. But I couldn't help but look up, where this gunshot had just been fired right next to my head. And the guy like got done looking at what he was done, and he looked over at me, and I'm staring at him, and our eyes locked, and I'm like, you're dead. He's got no choice. You're witness,
And you're on LSD,
and
right?
I'm coming off of LSD. I'm still halfway on, halfway off. And I just like didn't have a clue what to do with that. And so I just kind of smiled at the guy. And I guess he saw that my pupils were about that big around or something. I mean, I don't know. He just like shook his head and turned around and walked back out and left me sitting there. I threw some money on the table and just walked out the door. And on the way out the door, I kept on thinking, don't look back, don't look back. But I couldn't stop myself from looking back and seeing this guy's brain matter all across the back wall and his hole in his head. And I've never forgotten that,
No doubt. My goodness.
Because that was the first person I ever saw in that situation. But I've seen too many things. And so my therapist used to say that I had PTSD, and I went through a lot of treatment with, I didn't find that out until I was working in treatment. And I came to the realization, a lot of people work in treatment. They think, well, I've been in treatment all day, I don't need any meetings. And so they stop going to meetings. They end up getting loaded down the line. But with me, I figured when I was working in treatment, I was collecting so much crap off of people.
Sure.
That I not only needed more meetings,
we carry it with you,
but I also found a therapist that would work with me on the wages that I was working at. And she was the one who started me on PTSD treatment and working some of those issues out. And, but I still get haunted. I still watch them going on,
Yeah.
It's a violent world, a lot of ways out there.